have a poem to share with you called Here's a Nest. Listen and watch. Here's a nest for robin. Here's a hive for bee. Here's a hole for rabbit. And here's a house for me. So did you hear 4 different animals or people and where they live? Listen again and let's listen where each animal lives. Here's a nest for robin. Here's a hive for bee. Here's a hole for rabbit. And here's a house for me. What did you hear? Where does a robin live? A robin is a bird, and birds make nests. Can you make your little nest like that? You might even put an egg in it. Boop. And what about bees? What did we make for the bee? We made a hive, and we tucked our little bee in there. Can you tuck your thumb in there? Just like that for your little hive? Bzzz. And what was the next one? A rabbit. Where do rabbits live? We made a hole in the ground for that little rabbit because a rabbit makes a little burrow underground. And then, where did I live? In a house. Can you make a house just for me? Boop. Okay, I'm going to speak it again, and this time will you join me with the motions on all of our little houses for our animals and for me? Here we go. Here's a nest for robin. Here's a hive for bee. Here's a hole for rabbit. And here's a house for me. I want to point out one more thing about this poem. Did you catch that there's a rhyming word in there? Let's do it again and listen and see if you can figure out the 2 words in this poem that rhyme. Here we go. Here's a nest for robin, and here's a hive for bee. Here's a hole for rabbit, and here's a house for me. Did you hear it? Bee rhymes with me. So we have these houses for our animal friends, we have a house for me, and we have a rhyming word. My goodness, there's a lot going on in this poem. Let's do it one last time, my friends, and this time see if you can join me in all of the motions and all of the words. Here we go. Here's a nest for robin, and here's a hive for bee. Here's a hole for rabbit, and here's a house for me. I loved sharing this with you. Can you keep practicing it so you can share it with somebody else?